In part, that might have been the result of my own heightened wariness. Sachi's heavy-handed foreshadowing put me on guard, and I have a tendency of not to trust someone I'm meeting for the first time. At that time, while I certainly felt animosity from her, it wasn't so intense as to discourage me from approaching. However, from our second encounter, Yumiko bared open hostility towards me. What's worse, apparently having come to the conclusion that she wasn't a match for me barehanded, she's been swinging around a box cutter of all things. According to Amen, it seems that Yumiko has something of a habit of brandishing retractable knives at people. Of course, her goal is usually more intimidation than anything else. Speaking as the target this time, I can sense there's a part of her that's seriously trying to stab me. It's not the best feeling in the world. I really prefer to avoid that kind of recognition. Didn't notice. I'm pretty perceptive when my life's in danger, but I don't really feel the level of threat from Yumiko. My master did say I was exceptionally unskilled in that department. At any rate, I want to do something about Yumiko's aggressive rejection of me. My mouth. For that purpose, I'll need to talk to someone familiar with her circumstances. With the attendance book in her hand, as usual, our carefree principal appears. I guess Chizuru is the only one I can ask. In conclusion, Yumiko seems to hate me with a passion. Oh, let's hear it then. I only said what I was thinking. Was I wrong? Got it. And in difference to your feelings, no matter how much I think you're lacing around, I'll keep it quietly buried in my heart from now on. Good enough. What do you want from me? Spare me the fake complaints. What's your pleasure? You have any idea? The principal, cup in hand, lowers herself across from the sofa I'm reconciling on. This place just opened recently, right? I see. What does that have to do with her rejecting me? Before responding to my question, she takes a sip of her coffee from the cup in her hand. Frightening? Principal Tachibana takes a pen in her hand and jabs it toward me to emphasize her point. Hazing, is it? A bit of bullying comes with being a fresh recruit, but I didn't expect the same here. Apparently unconvinced by the idea of Sakaki stealing my lunch money, Principal Tachibana hides a snort of laughter behind her hand. Although it's certainly amusing considering the bounds of our physical strength, I don't see how I can manage a decent school life at this rate. I'm honored to have provided a moment of amusement for our perpetually overworked principal, but I came here hoping to have a path toward overcoming this challenge illuminated by your educational guidance. Cranky from beginning to end, ultimately the principal didn't provide me with any usual advice. This is what a school is like, so figure it out for yourself. A normal school life means a few problems like this. I do have to admit she managed to dodge this issue reasonably well with that last line. In any case, she didn't have any clear answer for me. I'm left with no choice but to do as she says and try to work on this over time. It's not really my style to go with the flow like this, but it's not. If that's the proposal of my educational guide, there's no helping it. Oh, so what the? No, I'm just more or less curious what the heck are you talking about?
Yeah, here in for 3 hours. We have been conversating for that. Yeah, forever. It's so boring.
How do you?
So first I was watching on my phone and then blocking it by my left or something, and then because you said, oh yeah, she was watching YouTube the whole time.
So are the stripes going to get worse or are they going to get better? How much do you know so far?
Yeah.
I said with the stripes, but
Oh, we don't know. You might have a point. And apparently it only lasts until 10. And apparently too, they're not allowed to let us in. Because we never tried to get into the parking lot and they would not let us in. She said that she had to drop us off right there.
okay.
Those two said to walk all the way up. So it's such a big workout.
Feeling awkward, Magic? You keep on moving around. Girl. Well, see, we called her Magic, so it could be anything, really.
But I told her that. No, we didn't.
Magic.
We never told her. We kept the name.
Yeah, I know we kept the name, but it still could mean anything.
Hey, that's what I said.
That's a bit too much, even for you. So
Oh yeah, no, Cody's dad. She called him dad again.
Why?
You can explain yourself. I don't even remember.
Why?
No, you're yelling at me because you weren't first on something. Just call you savage.
How is that savage?
I don't know, ask her. I'm 50% Oh my god. I'm so happy. You could say like a lot of that's so long. So we get along.
What part of us gets along? Well, we get along to the point that we fight. Glee is stupid to begin with.
I'm trying to finish it! It's so
It's a stupid, like, High School Musical dance show. It is.
If you know the storyline, it's just good.
Believe it or not, my high school has it in a in the religious class. We had it in the dictionary saying Glee is actually the worst show for Catholics to watch. It's actually in the textbook saying that. It was hilarious. Oh, anyway. Back to this. The result of going with the flow, Yumiko's attacks have been continually without any particular change to date. Look, could you quit it already? Her movements thrown off by my sudden sidestep, Yumiko staggers forward unsteadily. She tries desperately to regain her balance, resulting in a ridiculous pose in strong contrast with her. What?
What PlayStation is out here?
The PlayStation 3. I have the PlayStation 4 in my room along with the Xbox.
Okay.
With her usually high demeanor. If you've seen the anime, that's actually more of a comical scene and an enjoyable view, might I add. That's not preferred, and I deserve a slap. Hold up. Hey, my neck!
What?
Can you come over here?
No, I'm in my uniform.
Like that matters!
It does!
Well, speaking of which, this is a question that everyone actually wanted me to ask the moment I started recording this game. Get in here. Would you have this type of hairstyle?
Never. Never.
Because you mainly wear always a pigtail or something.
Yeah,
You always
tail, not pink.
you always wear some sort of weird hairstyle that
Yeah,
goes
because
with.
it's cute and I'm bored and I have nothing else to do with my life.
Sorry, what?
Chelsea has a big room and I said daddy, but technically me as a room use.
As in actual bedrooms, yes.
Yeah, they're really small room.
It's really small. Well, it's slightly bigger compared to my old room, which was.
Like half the size of it. But it's weird because he always has a single bed. I haven't clean. I like just clean out of double.
Okay. Michiru lets out a involuntary giggle at the spectator. She instantly pierced by Yumiko's fierce glare. Ignoring Michiru as she cowers behind her desk, Yumiko storms out of the classroom in a towering rage.
このところずっとリプレイを見せられているようです。怖かった。何よあの目。相変わらず人を凍えさせるのに十分な威力を持ってるわよ。チルチルにはきっと血の報復があるのよさ。ちょっとやめてよマキナ。お楽しみに。お楽しみにじゃねえ。
Seems like this one we're familiar by now, with the exceptional section of Michiru. Everyone seems perfectly calm. Even if this little routine doesn't bother them as a directly concerned party, it's problematic. Hey, Ahmed. In response to my call, she points to herself with her index finger, silently asking me. When I nod, she approaches in her usual pointlessly sexy way.
どうしたの？榊さんとの対戦格闘に疲れたから私の胸の中で安らぎたくなった？
No one normally asks that. I'm sorry, do you actually want me to treat you like a sex worker?
ユージ君がそれを望むのならそういう日があってもいいかな？
I'll be sure to keep that offer in mind, but that's not what I need. You know her, Yumiko, for a long time, right?
そりゃ確かに多少は他の子よりかは付き合いも長いけど。
Any ideas about the reason she's rejected me so this intensely?
ごめん、わからない。ああいう子でしょ？正直、事務的なこと以外に話す機会もあまりないのよね。
I see.
ユージ君も来たことだし。 これから少しずつ話とかできればと思うけど。
Oh god, that popped in. Hold up. Busy. Okay, I think I fixed that problem. I did not expect that to come up, but anyway. Generally, Yumiko hardly seems the type to open and reveal herself to someone just because they've known each other a while. Guess I'll have to find a solution myself after all. Thanks anyway, let me know if anything comes to mind. With those words, I move to exit the classroom. Yumiko's rejection continues to take this form. I'll have no choice but to ask the principal advice again. At the moment I open the door and prepare to leave. Stop at the sound of Armin's voice.
よそから来た人じゃん？そういうとこ、あの子は異物感があって嫌なのかもね。
Saying the same thing as the principal, huh? Does it feel that way to you as well, Armin?
私はそんなことないわよ。ユージ君を全力で支援しちゃうから。
It's all a little hard to take that seriously given the flow of this conversation.
ユージ君のこと、仲間だって思ったら戦いも終わるかもね。
I return to the dorm and wander the hallways without any particular objective. Compared to shutting myself up alone in my room, it's easier to gather my thoughts. One of the group, huh? I recall Amin's parting words. It's easy for her to say, but actually getting that island of a human being to recognize me as a friend seems next to impossible. First of all, we're not even on speaking terms yet. Oh, this late already. The sun is sinking below the window frame, casting shadows along the hall. About time for me to return to my room. Guess I'll try talking to her tomorrow. Scratch my head as I turn toward my bedroom. Sound of my slippers echoing roughly in the hallway. Yumiko might have her own set of internal rules since she hasn't tried to attack me even once while inside the dorm. Not while I was particularly off guard as a result of that assumption. Rather, it was probably because it happened at this particular time of day. Or so I will reflect to myself later. Evening, hallway in the dormitory lit by the setting sun. As the flash of thrusting light, I react instinctively. Grab her arm firmly. With arm captured, Yumiko's face stiffens. The box-cutter blade still extended, roused around at her feet, turning in circles around the handle. Trying for the element of surprise. Yumiko's expression changes from shock to fear. That's what tips me off that I'm not wearing my peaceful face. Sorry, that came out of nowhere, so I couldn't hold back. Didn't want to frighten her. Thought I could play the normal student? I wanted to convince myself that I could. Look, Yumiko. Still gripping her arm, I look into her eyes and speak. I'm not your enemy. Yumiko's expression betrays uncertainty for just a moment. But just as quickly, it settles back into her customary mask. But it doesn't look like you're convinced of that yet, so let me just say one thing. Releasing her arm, I pick up the ball scar laying on her feet, carefully retracted the blade, and hold it out to Yumiko. I won't cause you any harm. I won't pry into your business either. That's a promise. So stop this. It's pointless. Observe me to reach your own conclusion. If I'm lying, you can always try stabbing me again. Stumbling, Yumiko retreats a single step. Bye. Turn around and return to my room. Normally, Yumiko would seize such a chance to attack, but something's different now. Her elongated shadow is still, and the hallway is silent except for the small sound of her breathing. After that day, Yumiko's attacks came to an abrupt halt. Peacefully, I can use this as an opportunity to slightly improve our relationship. I'm trying to live a normal campus life, so it would be nice to minimize the number of classmates who want me dead. Yo. As usual, to call Yumiko's behavior when we come across each other curt would be an understatement. But at the very least, judging from the clearly different way she's looking at me, her observation period seems to be ongoing. I'll answer unless you want to know my weaknesses. What a shame. Come up with something else. She occasionally talks to me like this, but instead of friendly chats about our lunch plans, we have investigative inquiries and careful negotiations. If so, I suppose it's considerable improvements over outright bloodshed. Is that your idea of social interaction between classmates? Right then. I open my hands in an exaggerated American-style shrug. Well, good luck to you, Yumiko. I think it's time to leave before she starts probing me any further. Seems like she's hung up on that point. After those events, I've been intentionally addressing Yumiko by her first name. The family name would actually be more appropriate here, but I've got a bit of a reason for doing this. Just a woman who's never referred to me as anything but you. So you're saying as classmates we should both use our last names? Yumiko's expression clearly reads, oh crap. Isn't that the starting point for building a cordial relationship? Alright, in that case I'll take our friendship to the next level and leave making up a pleasant nickname for you. Not to worry, you can do the same for me. Might be a little early for that, so I propose starting with last names. Yumiko hesitates briefly, but before long she opens her mouth stiffly in a tightly voice. After speaking those words with a cramped attempt at a smile, she walks off. Yeah, best regards, Sakaki. Thus, after great hardship, I finally succeed in establishing an absolute minimum level of communication with my 5th classmate. Seems this student life thing is pretty rough in its own way. When I push open the heavy glass door, I find the lobby in utter silence. Exchanging my outdoor shoes for the slippers I use in my room, I reach the board hanging above the shoes racks. I flip the magnetic tag reading Kazumi Yuji from out to in. I glance at the other name tags, reveal that Sakaki, Sachi, and Amen are all in, but there's no one in the lobby. They're probably shut up in their rooms doing homework. Hold on. There wasn't any homework assignment today, which would mean my hypothesis just now can't be accurate. Then what? Students shut themselves up in their rooms, homework. I'm not even going to say that word, are the only things that come to mind. Although I give the matter a little thought, I don't plan on going around and confirming my new conjecture. It's just a guess, and no matter what sort of vile filth they're getting off to, that's their prerogative. In this case, pretending not to notice would be the kinder thing. Having reached that conclusion, I reached out to the door of my room, but in doing so, I noticed that the bit of tape I stuck on my door as a seal has been ripped off. Someone's in the room. Backing away from the door for a moment, I quickly press my ear against the wall, but can't hear any noises from inside. Does it seem like a typhoon is lying waste to the room in my absence? But either way, if it is someone stupid enough to miss that tape, no need to be too careful. I forcefully swung open the door to my room. And there it is. Don't move. What are you doing in here? Who called me a stripper? It's not my birthday. You got the wrong room. But it's just Amin. Why are you in my room? I bet a lot of you guys are enjoying the view at this point. Amin points to a large overnight bag laying on the floor, personally containing her spare clothes. Why are you half naked? You got your own room, right? Well, as a grade schooler, I had friends who throw their bags by the door after school so they could get back inside faster. I guess this one's brain works on the same level. Fine, I suppose. I'll come in whether you invite me or not. It's my room. I walk into the room, hold the glass under the faucet in the sink, and fill it with tap water. Even though in the show he didn't drink tap water, he drank oolong tea. What? Swung down the tepid water from the glass. Actually, what? Your sentence is missing both a verb and an adjective. I'm not a normal man, and you were the one who barged into my room. If you don't want to be seen about being frank about it, telling me to get out. Want me to stick 20 in your panties? If you say so, you seem pretty used to this. If you didn't want this be seen, you should have said so from the start. I'll be outside. Call me when you're done changing. What a troublesome woman. What do you want from me? I said. Returning my empty glass to the sink, I turned my back to Amin for the moment. Breaking into my room as she pleased, throwing her tits around as she pleased, then getting pissed at me as she pleases. I don't have any real obligation to be considered a person like that, but well, this kind of thoughtfulness is what keeps society moving smoothly. Also, on to the next part.